Hey guys, what's up? Sowerz here, and I'm back with a commentary. This one's going to be about EGL11, which was over the weekend, and just kind of talking about what happened, and obviously looking forward to the future now that Black Ops 2 kind of has come to its end in the UK. Obviously there's ESWC this weekend, which I might do a video about that, kind of previewing it, because there's quite a few different teams there, and it should be a pretty good event as well. But yeah, I guess in terms of the Desert community and Europe in general, and that's the end of Black Ops 2 in terms of LAN events. And yeah, so EGL11 was the last LAN. I'll kind of talk through what happened with my team, and you know, kind of how the event turned out and my thoughts on it. And I'll kind of talk a bit later on about Ghosts, what I think it's going to be more like. I've got a bit of information about it, kind of seen a lot of gameplays and talked to people who've played the game already as well, so that's obviously going to be helpful. Trying to give a bit of insight into the game, what it's going to be like. And yeah, just want to quickly say as well, I am going to be back to streaming. I should be streaming probably right about now or later on today, so check out on Twitter. I'll probably tweet it out and stuff like that. And the plan is to play some Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 8s with you guys, or just players in general, see who's online. And yeah, maybe some Black Ops 2, I don't know, depends what everybody wants to do. Yep, so get straight into the EGL11 thing. Obviously my team Enigma, we was in the pool there on the first day, and we had our first game. We had Tech, which was Realize, Bizzle, Exity and Hadzi. That was our first game. We won that 3-1. We kind of we took the first map, lost the S&D, then won. So basically won the 3 respawns against them. We looked pretty strong, pretty solid. We were really pleased with that win. Kind of got us off to a winning start, which we really needed. Then we played Infuse second. Now this was kind of like the game for us, which was like our first test in the tournament. And we managed to beat them 3-2. We went 2-0 down. They kind of took the first 2 maps pretty comfortably, really. Then the CTF was kind of a bit of a gritty one. It was 0-0. No team really making any massive pushes to pull the flag, and we managed to nick the game in overtime. In fact, I might have been 1-1 actually, the CTF, I'm not sure, but it was a pretty slow game. Then we won the CTF overtime. We were like, you know, come on, this is it, we can kind of get hyped now, build off something and try and take Infused on. Then we played the 4th match, which was Hardpoint Slums, and we won it. We put them in the 100-point club, as people would say nowadays. And we all just went huge. I mean, it's probably our best map of the tournament. We won by, I think it was 250 to 80 something. And to say they won the tournament, you know, for us to do that, I don't think anybody beat Infused like that on a hard point, if I'm correct. But we really just, you know, first day in general, we were just another team, and I'll kind of talk about what happened in the second day in a bit. But yeah, we went to, it was 2-tone maps, and we played the standoff, which was the last map. We were, I think we were 5-1 or 4-1 up, and they brought it back. It's like to 5, I think it was 5-4 at one point, but then we closed it out 6-4 or 6-3. I can't remember, but I know we got a bit of a lead going into it, and then we kind of finished it off at the end. And so we beat Infused 3-2, and obviously a lot of people were shocked by that. A lot of people watched it, and we played how we could. We knew that if we played like that, we really had a good chance of doing really well in the tournament. And then our last game was on stream against Demand, I believe they were called. Don't know where they ended up in the end. It might have been top 12 if I have a look at. Oh, it was top 16 they finished in the end, but they were a pretty strong team. They actually beat Tech, who obviously placed 5th, 6th in the end. So, you know, they obviously had a bit of a rough patch in the loser bracket and got knocked out quite early on. But we beat them pretty comfortably, 3-1. We lost the CTF because we gave them too many score streaks pretty much, and they ended up beating us 2-1 on that. But yeah, in general, we walked out of the groups with 3 wins and no losses, and we looked so strong. We went in as first seed because obviously we stole Infused seed, basically that's how that worked, and Epsilon topped the other group. And then it came, you know, into the Sunday. We kind of said, you know, look, when we get hyped, when we're on it, we know we can beat pretty much anybody. I mean, it's obviously that's an overconfident thing to say, but when you're in a team at that point and you've just won all your games on the first day, beat the top 1 seed, you got to go into, you know, the rest of your games believing that you can beat anybody. And when we woke up on the Sunday, we played our first game, it was pretty clear straight away that none of us really, our heads were not in the game on the Sunday, not like it was the Saturday. We talked a lot on the Saturday night saying, you know, we need to make sure we come in Sunday storming, and it just didn't happen. We played our first game, we lost the first high point by 10 points because of some crucial players that we just didn't make that stopped us getting score streaks, which in the end cost us the game because the other team got a stealth chopper, and if we had obviously got a hellstorm, it could have been different for us. So we lost the first map. Then the S&D, we got 6-1 because our S&D throughout the whole tournament definitely let us down. We were really good on a couple of maps, but the other 2, I think it was Express, was by far our weakest. We just really struggled on Express all weekend, and I think it was Raid, the other one that we were really struggling on as well, and I think we got those 2 maps against this team, which, as you'll see in the end, eventually cost us. But second map we lost 6-1. So going into the CTF we were 2-0 down against this team that were pretty unknown, and this is when we said, right guys, this is it, no messing about. This kind of woke us up in our heads, like, hang on, what are we doing here? We need to get our heads in the game. And we then ended up, I think it was 5 or 6-0 on the CTF. We just absolutely blitzed them. We played hardpoint Yemen. Everybody went plus like 10, 15, absolutely annihilated them. And then it came to S&D Express, our worst S&D map, and we were just like, right, come on, we're playing well now. We know we can do this. And we ended up losing it 6-1. Again, we lost both S&Ds 6-1. And it was a classic case of that, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is such a massive, especially hardpoint. If your head is not in the game and your team isn't really communicating like it should be, then you can lose to anybody. You really can, and that definitely cost us. And for us, that's the thing that hangs over our head, is if we woke up on that Sunday morning with the right attitude, it would have been a different story for us. But that's the way it is. That's Call of Duty, and it's not a good enough excuse. It's our own fault, nobody else's. And that was probably our biggest weakness as a team, was actually getting our heads into the game in the first game. Really, probably. I'm not, I can't really say after only being with this team for a short time, but so yeah, obviously that meant that we got dropped into the loser bracket, and that was our first game of the Sunday, our first winner bracket match. And to get knocked in like that was a massive sucker punch, it really was. And we ended up going to the next game losing the hardpoint, and we eventually won the S&D, CTF and hardpoint really easily. We stepped up after that and won those games to go to that, because when we originally lost first, that was top 24 guaranteed. Then we won that game, so we were top 16 guaranteed. And then we played a team that beat Mac and Toby's team. What were they called? I can't remember what they were called. I think it might have been Legacy. Yeah, it was. I think they placed top 16 in the end. Cookie, Urban, 8-Ball and Nutras, I think. Might not be 100% correct. But yeah, so we played that team, and they beat Xtaz, who obviously Xtaz plays top 24, which for them is not a good result for them, but they're still a strong team. And so we knew we couldn't underestimate them, and we probably, that was probably the first hard point against them. I went something like 35 and 15. I absolutely just went off. I wasn't missing, and in general that was probably our best match of the tournament in a way. We literally demolished them 3-0, and yeah, we had no mercy, and that's what guaranteed us a top 12. We were like, you know what, we're back here now, boys. We're back at top 12 where we originally were, where we should have been. And we were feeling really confident. We were just looking really strong. They just beat Xtaz pretty well. It was a pretty close game, but they looked pretty strong against them. And for us to blitz them like that, it gave us a lot of confidence going into the game, which was against Tech, which was Momo's team that he picked up for with Mello. And who were the other two? Let me have a look. Robs and Dominate. So all round a pretty skillful team. Robs and Dominate are known to be pretty skillful players, so we couldn't underestimate these, and we beat them 3-1. Everyone just really chipping in. It was a good team performance, if anything, and we kind of it was a pretty comfortable win in the end. But we didn't exactly massively outslay them, but we just made sure we made the big plays that were needed, and our teamwork definitely was on point in that game. I think we only lost the S&D against them again, so it was just another tale of our S&D. If our S&D was more on point, we kind of slacked on our S&D a bit in terms of preparing for the event. We all know that we didn't scrim it as much as we did other game types, because we felt like our other respawn game types were weaker, but in fact this event they were by far our strongest. And I think if our S&D was a lot stronger, we wouldn't have been in the position we're in. Then we obviously got top 8 guaranteed, and for us, top 8 compared to the start of the day where we were guaranteed top 24, we felt a lot better. Because to come top 8, wouldn't be a massive, absolute, I've placed worse than that in the past, a lot of players have, and so, top 8, it's kind of like, okay, we're back amongst the top teams again, so we can focus on the games now. And this is when we had Orbit. We won the first map, Yemen, and, Yemen for me, I felt like throughout the weekend my AR was my best in a lot of ways when I was AR, and I just really enjoyed it, and I kind of put in really good performances when AR in. I kind of enjoyed using the M8 online. And especially on Yemen, I played a lot more of an anchorish role, and I kind of enjoyed it. And against them, it was probably my best AR performance on Yemen. And in general, we just looked really strong on Yemen against them. We beat them by, I think it was around 80 points. So we were pretty confident going to the second map, but we lost the second map. I think it was 6-2. So once again, our S&D let us down. Then this is when, for us, I'd say that the loss on the early morning on the Sunday was a key point in the tournament for us. which shouldn't have happened. But then this was probably the deciding factor for our whole tournament, which was when we were 1-0 up on CTF Raid. It was 1-1 on maps, and we were on the bad side, which, you know, for us is our bad side, which is the side where you spawn at the garage, because it's just, we find it a lot harder to get map control on that side, and so we kind of deem that as our weak side. And we were 1-0 up, you know, 4 minutes in, we were like, you know what, lads, this is great, you know, we've really grinded out a good result on this side. And then we found out that something was wrong with the rules. I think it was the respawn delay was wrong, which it was 7.5 instead of 5, but the way we were playing it was, we were playing a lot of kind of counter cap. I was kind of sneaking through to the enemy base, waiting for some kills to be played and making the pulls, and because, yeah, okay, 7.5 respawn delay, it's different, and so that could have been an influential factor in what happened in those being 1-0 up, but I personally don't think it was, but I think it was one of those games you had to be there to watch it to see how we actually got the flag, which was that we got 4 down and I pulled the flag out, which really, that's nothing to do with a respawn delay, that's just to do with a clutch play by our team. And so that, you know, when we had to restart that, it was in the rules that, you know, if the rules are wrong and we were hosting, that it'd have to restart at 0-0, which, in my opinion, you know, okay, I was on a team that got affected by this, but it should be down to referees and the EGL as an organisation to have referees checking the rules, and therefore if the rules are wrong, it shouldn't be down to the liability of whoever's hosting, because for us to be 1-0 up and now they know how we played the CTF, they can then counteract that. And it was definitely shown when we played them the second time round, because we had to start 0-0, we had to play on the bad side again, and when we tried to play in a similar style, we dominated the map control the whole side, and we were like, you know, we're dominating, we're playing like another team, this is good. We dominated map control, but we couldn't get the flag out, and we literally dominated the whole CTF in terms of map control on the bad side, and it went into half-time 0-0. We were like, okay, not too bad, yeah, okay, we weren't 1-0 like we were the game before, but at least we're going to the good side. Dominated map control again, couldn't make the players to get out the flag because they had a lot of people defending the whole CTF. They knew that if they just sat back, that I couldn't get the sneaky pulls that I was doing before, and they'd obviously adapted from that. And basically in the last 40 seconds, I think one of their players got a free piece or just a big play, pulled our flag out, got it away, and they won the map just off one play. Literally, that's how it felt for us. It was a massive sucker punch to us in general, the way that it all happened, and we went into the hard point. It was about 130 each on slums, and they managed to pull it out, getting some good score streaks and that kind of stuff. And I think if we'd have won that CTF, we'd have gone into our hardpoint slums a lot more motivated, because our heads were just not there. And the fact we even were level, I was quite surprised by anyway, because we were just so gutted after that CTF. And I really do believe, you know, Orbit are a great team. Like I said, I get on with Mohawk really well. If any of you guys watch the stream, I praised them a lot. But I really do feel if we'd have continued at that CTF raid and kept our 1-0 lead, I think we'd have won that CTF, and I think we'd have gone into hardpoint slums, which was by far our best map throughout the tournament. It was the map that we played really well against Infused on. I think we would have beat them, and you know, it's easy for me to say that, and people might think that's a bit, you know, big-headed or whatever to say that, but that's what we believe. And I honestly think there was 2 key points in that tournament which cost us. It was the morning on Sunday, we didn't wake up with the right attitude, and then, you know, that game, just something to do with the tournament rules, which can cost you like that. And it's a real shame, you know. It's the last event of Black Ops 2. We honestly felt like we were capable of getting top 3 at least, and you know, that's just the way it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the last Black Ops 2 event, so to me it doesn't hurt. It's not as bad as losing a tournament halfway through a game or at the start of the game, because winning tournaments at the start is absolutely huge. Like, winning the first tournament on a new game is massive, but because it was like the last event of this game, it wasn't such a big deal in terms of, you know, going forward, because obviously Ghost is coming out. But performance wise, we were absolutely chuffed. I honestly feel like it gave me a lot of confidence back in my game. I think it was one of my best Black Ops 2 events since EGL9, which was with Epsilon, obviously. And so yeah, I was really pleased that we went, and pleased with how we played. Just, you know, to us, the placement really does not matter. We feel like a couple of factors just cost us, and that's LAN. You know, it's another learning experience, and I'd rather learn off an event like in EGL at the end of a game rather than learning in the start of Ghost. So, you know, as players and as a team, I'm really pleased with how we played. I'm really pleased with the lads. I even said, you know, we shouldn't have our heads down too much. Just a couple of things cost us. And going forward, really looking forward to Call of Duty Ghosts. It's the end of Black Ops 2 now. From what I've seen of Call of Duty Ghosts and what I'm hearing, it's a lot more like Modern Warfare 2. It's a lot. It could be a lot more tactical depending on the game types as well, because there's no hardpoint, which is so frantic and quick. and if it's, if it is going to be like demolition or domination, it's going to be a lot more tactical and slow paced. So how that's going to affect the game, I'm not so sure, but yeah, definitely something to look forward to. And yeah, no more Black Ops 2 online or at LAN, which, as we all know, is very inconsistent. But overall, Hardpoint, by far the best game type I've ever played in Call of Duty. I did say that on stream as well. And obviously, I did cast a bit actually, and I talked to Sven Moss a bit. I might upload one of those to the channel, because it's just something to upload, I guess. And I kind of had a good talk with Sven Moss about a few things, and it was kind of like when I was on there, I was doing a commentary really. So it was a bit weird really, but yeah, I kind of enjoyed casting. Hopefully you guys did as well. I've not done it that much, but if any of you guys did catch it and have any feedback, please let me know. Right, this has gone on for 15 minutes, almost 60 minutes right now, which is very long. So if you guys are listening to my voice right now, I really appreciate you sticking around. Everybody who's been watching my videos. Call of Duty Ghosts hits soon. I'll have a lot more content coming up. I'm getting the game this week as well, so I'll be able to get any questions you guys want answered. I'll be having the game 3 days early, so can't wait to get playing that, get some information out there, and I'll be able to upload a lot of content like bang on the release and kind of give some tips from what I've picked up, the best guns, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to Call of Duty Ghosts. If you guys could drop this video a like, then I would really appreciate that. Like I say, I'll be back to streaming as well, so make sure you check out my channel, which will be in the link below, and I will tweet it out as well on Twitter. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking now and let you guys get off. Thank you very much for watching if you stuck around for this whole video, one of the longest ones I've done. So yeah, huge thanks to you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for all the support.